Okay, good day. This directions on here say the directions find the domain. This is just, these little videos are just like trig prep stuff for those taking trig. Okay, if I assign it to the class, you have to do it even if you're not signed up for trig, but they're not it's not back-breaking work. Most of them can be explained in under 10 minutes. Find the domain means basically you find the values that x cannot be in this assignment here. Okay. Well, as you can see, what you have is x is in the denominator. Okay. Now I'm going to show you some things. Now, let's say I take a number 9, divide it by 0. It says divide by 0 error. It's because you can't divide a number by 0. Error. Negative 8 divided by 0, error. See, it's all error because 0 is on the bottom. So you have to basically find this expression x plus 2 cannot be equal to 0. So I put equals 0 and then put a line through your equals. That means not equal to 0. And then you just solve it like a normal equation. You minus 2 and x then cannot be equal to negative 2. It can be equal to any number except for negative 2, because that's the number for x that if I add 2 to that, it gets 0. Okay, next one. The numerator expression doesn't matter, okay, just the bottom. X plus 4 cannot be equal to 0. Okay, so we just subtract 4, so that means x cannot be equal to negative 4. Okay, next one I have the expression 5x. So 5x cannot be equal to 0. Now here I don't add or subtract, I divide by 5. And x then cannot be equal to 0. Because 5 times 0 would be 0. 5 times any other number would not be 0. Okay, the denominator x minus 5 cannot be equal to 0. So I add 5. So x cannot be equal to 5. Now those problems are easy, pretty much a walk in the park. Now the next one, you have expressions that can be factored because you got a trinomial this time. You can't just set that equal, well, you can set it equal to 0, but you're going to have to factor. So we're going to factor it right here. We're going to cross that out. And then we're going to write down the expression x squared minus 11x plus 24 equals 0, okay? Or no, don't even put equals 0, just factor it, okay? There's 3 terms, okay? So it'd be GCF and T-table. GCF you don't have to do in these problems, it's just 1. And then I go A, B, C, so 1 times 24 is 24, be positive. So that's a sum of 11, and 11 is negative. 1 and 24, nope. 2 and 12, nope. 3 and 8, yep. Okay. So 8 would be negative because 11 is, and then a sum and a positive means the signs have to be the same. So they'd be minus 3 minus 8. And A is just 1, so I go x minus 3, x minus 8. Okay. Don't put equals 0. Okay. So just rewrite that up here as x minus 3 times x minus 8. Okay. Now, those cannot be equal to 0. So you have 2 possibilities now. Either x plus minus 3 cannot be equal to 0, x minus 8 cannot be equal to 0. So I add 3. So x cannot be equal to 3, and it can't be equal to 8. Remember, get those lines through the equals, because you're not finding what x can be, you're finding what it cannot be. Okay, x squared minus 4. Again, the fact that x is to the second power means there's going to be 2 values that x cannot equal. So we're going to take the expression x squared minus 4, and we're going to rewrite that in factored form. Okay, so it's 2 terms this time. Because if I need to find the 2 values x can't be, then I'm going to need to, see, these ones are easy because x is always to the first power, okay? It's just x, so you set it not equal to 0 and you have it. When you have powers on the x, you need to rewrite the expression on bottom if you're going to figure out the numbers x cannot be equal to. Okay, so GCF would be 1, and then we see if it's a difference of perfect squares, which it is, because you can go x times x. I'm not even going to put a 1 in front of it. And then 4 is 2 times 2. So I rewrite that as x plus 2, x minus 2, and then I know the two things that it can't be. So x plus 2 cannot equal 0. X minus 2 cannot equal 0. So I subtract 2 and I get negative 2. It can't be equal to negative 2. Then plus 2, and x cannot equal 2. Okay. When you do these on your own, there are no powers, so you just set the bottom equal to 0, and that's pretty much that. These you need to factor. And then go over here, GCF T, GCF DOPS, but they're GCFs 1.